Welcome to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, created and hosted by Scott Knudsen, to explore the crossroads of horses and the business world. Now here's your host, Scott Knudsen.
Welcome to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, and thank you for watching. I'm your host, Scott Knudsen. Today we have a very special guest and a great friend of mine. She is a 20-year professional horsewoman, trainer. She's been in 14 years the Extreme Mustang Makeover and a 3-time champion. Featured in Wild Horse, Wild Ride, the movie, and also Mustang Millionaire. Everybody probably already knows who it is without saying your name, but it's Extreme Wylene. Wylene Davis, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Scott. I'm super excited. Very happy to be here. So thank you for taking the time. This is amazing.
Oh, it's so much fun. So much fun. So congratulations. So Road to the Horse. I'm just so excited for you. As soon as I found out, I called you. And so what was that like?
You know, initially when I got the phone call, I was like, yeah, it's about time, kind of. I kind of thought that. And I've had a lot of people, even years that I would be at Road to the Horse, whether I was part of the competition, like helping behind the scenes, or if I was working a booth, people would come by and say, why aren't you in that arena? You know, and I'm like, they haven't asked. I don't know. So whenever that opportunity, if it ever presents itself, then yes, I'll be there. So.
And you're there.
So I appreciate it.
It's a big deal. It's a big opportunity for sure, and you deserved it a long time ago. So I'm glad you're there. I know all your fans are glad you're there, and the new fans you're going to have after the event, because they watch you, they're going to fall in love with you. So that's a positive. Yeah. So it's going to be in Fort Worth at Cowtown. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's kind of neat, you know, the energy behind with COVID. In a way, there's, I think, positive and negatives, but for me it's a positive because we just had the NFR in Texas. My sister was at the NFR, and now we're taking the horse to Texas, and I'm in Road to the Horse, and she's my pen wrangler. So that's kind of exciting, and it's just this vibe of high energy, and there's a great crowd, and there's a lot of horse lovers, and it's just, Texas is a great place for networking and for connection and just cool horse people. So yeah, I feel honored. I really, truly do.
Well, it's so great. I'm glad you're there, and they can watch it live, I believe, through Ride Pass. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, Ride Pass and the Cowboy Channel, I heard, is going to go ahead and like air it as well. Yes, sir. Yeah,
so that's great. So everybody can watch it and cheer you on. And
it's gonna be.
That's awesome. So when you got the news, so how did your training, how did you mentally start preparing? Were you working Mustangs or quarter horses, or how did you just flip to say, this is what I'm going to do?
I honestly didn't really change anything. I've been training colts a really long time, and I felt prepped and ready. If they would have called me and said, we're going to do it this weekend, I would have went, because I've just had a lifetime of experience dealing with problem horses and young colts. And then to add to that, Ice Cream Sunday, I'm also very well versed in the wild horse realm. And so to me, it was just that next step of like, well, sure, let's train a horse. I mean, they're just a horse to me in general. I think anytime you start to label them and say, oh, it's going to be this or that, I think you can kind of you can get in your head a little bit too much. And truthfully, it really does come down to like luck of the draw. And you can just have a really great weekend, or you can have a really tough weekend. You can have a tough horse. It just really depends. So as far as preparation, I think my whole life has been preparation, honestly. So, you know, I've had several people say, "God, you gotta be nervous. Are you nervous?" And I'm like, no, I love pressure. I love the challenge. I love to put myself out there and go, we're going to walk into the fire, and I'm going to take my horse with me. So,
yeah, I love that.
I'm just different in that regard. And, you know, I just want to say something really important as well. All these people that I'm sharing the arena with, I look up to each of them, and I have a respect for all of them. I definitely don't think I'm better than anyone else, but I do know I'm different. So I'm going to just try to stay in that universe and be in that lane and just be authentic to who Wylene Davis truly is. And awesome. I hope to just leave people going, what just happened? Even the judges to go, like, scratch their head, like, did you guys just do that? So, yeah. I get giggly. Awesome. I turn into like a 12-year-old little girl, but truthfully, I love horses and I love to have fun. And I think in horsemanship and with competition, a lot of people lose sight of fun because it all becomes about winning. I have to win. Okay, well, yeah, it's wonderful if you win. It truly is. And it brings opportunity and incredible experiences. However, if you're only solely focusing on winning, then when you don't, it's devastating. Right. And my husband and several close friends will tell you, whether I'm winning or losing, I'm still the same. Right. It's still fun. And there's got to be winners, there's got to be losers, and I'm happy either way. And my goal is to be the best for the horse that I can be. And I've changed a lot over the last 20 years. And it used to be all about me. And I'm humble enough to say that now. As I've gotten older, I've learned it's not about me, and it's not about being necessarily fast and forceful. It's about being slow and thinking and reading your horse and understanding that each individual horse is a student. And as a teacher, it's my job to read the situation and then adapt to the student. Right. That's what a great teacher is. So that's my goal this weekend regarding Road to the Horse, and walking into that arena with that platform is just to read my animal and then go out there and just build a partnership and something that can't be broken. And I really, really, truly want to do that. So I'm so excited.
That's such an awesome statement you just made, is how you were good when you started, but you just kept changing to get even better. And that's, a lot of people can't admit that or don't have the opportunity to do that in our industry. So, and it's elevated you to this level. And to change that way, to read that horse, it's a special knack for sure.
Well, I appreciate that. And, I've said before, I've done interviews before where I talk about, there's 3 things I really focus on, and that's being humble, hardworking, and then just being really honest. Whether I'm scared or I believe something should happen, I'm going to tell the truth. I really think it's important to be humble. I really just don't think I'm better than anyone else. However, I want to be better than I was yesterday, and just to improve and to follow that journey. And we're all on journeys. Everyone's working through their own stuff. We all have issues going on with our families and our loved ones and our own situations. And so we all have different issues, and I can recognize that and realize we're all human. We all make mistakes. And I want to be able to be a good steward to the horse and take care of that animal in that circumstance. And to tie into preparation for Road to the Horse, because they have a lot of rules.
Right.
They have a lot of rules that don't really align with what it is I do. And because I'm known for doing like lay downs on horses, and I really like to put a lot of pressure on a horse because I want to know who they are as individuals. But in Road to the Horse, no hobbling, no laying them down, no spurs. It's very, very, they're very specific that they're wanting to be like almost more natural approach to it. So I kind of shifted the way I was going to start because what I normally would do in a colt starting situation, 85% of that I can't do this weekend. So that forced me to go, okay, Wylene, start asking questions about how to approach it in a different way. Yeah. So I asked a lot of questions and took lots of lessons and started practicing a different technique to get to that point to riding the horse, which is more ground stuff that I normally don't do because I like to just get on and go. Yes. And that's kind of the Extreme Wylene way. But I think now I'm excited to kind of show where I'm at. And I have no problem climbing on a colt. I have no problem getting on one that gets a little froggy.
Right. That's a great term. That's a great term. I remember when we met at the Extreme deal, the Mustang Challenge and the Celebrity, that weekend was so great. I remember you were just like, let's just jump on that one. I just jumped on that one. And you were doing these great tricks and you were such one with that Mustang. And so I'm sure some of that's going to leak out into this event, even though it's a little bit more structured.
Yeah, I think honestly, you'll see me have fun, and I want my horse to have fun. Absolutely. And I want to take a horse that might be a little more cautious and turn that cautious into confidence, right. Into connection.
That's good right there.
Oh, let me tell you,
yeah.
I've been doing it.
Yeah, because once they're confident, you got them, and then you can do your thing.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And you know, horses love leadership. And if you step into a round pen and you don't know who you are and you don't have a plan, guess who takes over the classroom?
Absolutely.
That student who's like throwing spitballs at the back of your head while you're writing on the chalkboard.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're animals and they're looking for that alpha person to walk in, tell them what to do. And once you earn their trust, you got them. And that's your wheelhouse for sure.
Most definitely. And I think, you know, I just actually talked to Cole Cameron this morning, and we're pretty good friends. And he asked me, he goes, "So you're nervous?" I says, "Oh no. Oh no." I said, I'm ready. He goes, "Oh, I know you're ready." He's like, "I'm just curious if you're nervous." And I said, "No, I've ridden enough and I've been prepared enough and have enough experience that I feel as though this is my opportunity to showcase that. However that falls out onto the table, I'm okay with it." That's awesome. You can do the best you can do, and then you got to let go of outcome of how it shows up. And so I just am excited.
Yeah, well, you should be. It's a great opportunity, and you're good at what you do. So, I mean, that's a perfect recipe right there for sure.
Scott will be right back with more.
Hi, I'm Scott Knutson, host of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. Today, we're going to talk about something I'm really passionate about. Those that know me know I love my coffee. Those that don't, now you know I do. And we've been working on this for several months, and we wanted to get it just right. And we don't put our name on anything unless we feel 100% certain it's the best product we can get. And we've done it. I really believe we've done it. We've created a coffee line, 13 great flavors. I'm going to show you 3 of them. We have K-Cups in all 13 flavors. Here's a Jamaican Me Crazy. It's just a really great coffee. Everyone has great logos. It has a brand, the same brand that's on our horses, our trailers. You know that brand means something, and we wouldn't put it on here if it wasn't good coffee. We have whole bean. This is a great Honduran blend, and it's a whole bean coffee. We have whole bean in all 13 flavors. And then we have a ground coffee. This is a really great one. My wife and I really like this a lot, loved it. So we named it after our daughter, Haley's Blend. Everyone has the packaging and the logo of the show, our brand, and I hope you like it. I really believe you will. And we're going to have more flavors coming out soon. We're going to have the pumpkin spices, and then we're going to go to peppermint after that. And please send us your suggestions as well. You can find it at cowboyentrepreneur.shop. Think coffee shop. Cowboyentrepreneur.shop. Thank you so much. I'm Scott Knutson with the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, here weekly, Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific on KCAA. And I love American history. Who doesn't? I enjoy reading about those early pioneers that left family and friends in the East and headed to the West in hopes of making their fortunes. The stories captured the minds and are a great example of the American spirit that made this country great. The state of California had its beginnings up in a little mountain town in Northern California called Truckee. The immigrants on their way west went right through what is now downtown along the old Dutch flat wagon road. The story of this old Wild West town is a fascinating one. And if you're interested like I am in these old stories, you might want to take a look at taking the Haunted Truckee Ghost Walk. It's definitely not your typical ghost hunting adventure, but rather takes you back in the dates of California's earliest beginnings. Next time you're up there, check it out. Tickets and information are available on their website, hauntedtruckee.com. People are loving this tour, and it's receiving some great reviews. Again, the website to get tickets is hauntedtruckee.com.
Welcome back to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. Here's your host, Scott Knutson.
For sure. And what you said earlier is so important. You know, it's important. You want to win. Everybody wants to do good. Everybody wants to have a great day. But at the end of the day, it's how you did during that weekend, and you don't beat yourself. You just go to the next event. So that's a very confident way to go about it.
Well, and I think when I was a younger girl, my mom used to say, okay, sports fans, watch this. And even as a young child, that was like programmed into my mind that it wasn't so much about the winning. It was about blowing people out of the water. So it was more about the aha shock factor than it was about, oh, I'm the best and I'm the winner. It was more about really, really riding and guiding horses, like really being a horseman. And so, you know, I'm grateful to my mom because she laid down that foundation for me. And at the time as a young child, you can't appreciate your parents. And I used to have people come and say, oh, you're so lucky you grew up with a mom that loved horses and could help you girls. And it wasn't until I was much older that I recognized how fortunate I was to grow up with a mom and a dad that were so supportive, who pushed and promoted and believed in us and made it happen, because that's what gave us the experience in competition settings that a lot of people don't have. So I've competed a lot in a lot of different areas in the arena. So I love it. I just feel like it's just time. And, you know, I'm 41 years old. So, you know, when I was in my 20s, I probably could have came into Road to the Horse and been fine doing it. But I'm a lot more mature, and I feel like I can happily admit that.
Yeah.
I'm still a good
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad number.
I'm a lot more mature, so I can recognize situations and realize when I need to back off or when I need to push, and it's not all about me.
Right.
And I've gotten really humbled with that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's a technique too, to understand that when you're in the ring with them, you know, you're thinking all the people are looking at you, but really it's a partnership for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that's what those judges are looking for, you know. I know if I was a judge, that's what I would be looking for. Who's the guy in the round pen that's looking like they're doing the least with the horse that's doing the most, and what's not the other way around. Yeah. And so I've been trying to gear my whole approach and my step up to doing what I'm going to do at Road to the Horse with that in mind. And I feel confident that when I put a foot in that stirrup and I start with my technique of how I get a colt started, that the majority of people watching are not going to believe what they see with how quick it works. And that's how much passion and belief I have in what it is I do. I've done it on hundreds of horses and helped hundreds of students and clients do it. And so now I just want to go show the masses why is it work, and hopefully it just pans out the way it needs to for this next week.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome. Well, you did the work, you know, and you're in your comfort zone, you know. I mean, golly.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I'm totally in my comfort zone.
None.
Everything that's going to change is my lipstick color and my jeans. Other than that, everything's
absolutely. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. So your sister's helping you, right? Is that not cool?
Oh, you know it. We're coming in guns a-blazing, 2 blondes, and we're cowgirls. So I love my sister. She's amazing. And here's the funny little side note. We have not started colts together for at least 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So in preparation, I was in Florida doing a colt starting and a boot camp and a kids clinic and just kind of doing my thing. And I've been doing lots of colt startings, and she came out, and I mean, she stepped into that round pen with me, and it was like, it was there. It just, we worked together enough, and there is an unspoken understanding. And so I feel that we get to share that together, and I'm really looking forward to it. And she has her own incredible talents and abilities on her own. And so we both have something to bring to the table. So it's going to be fun to have her there in the round pen with me.
That's going to be awesome. What a special time and a special opportunity for sure.
Definitely.
So social media. So we're going to put all your information at the back of the show, but so people that want to follow you, I know you do a lot of cool stuff on social media, and they get to live what you're living. Maybe they're not as fortunate, they're not riding yet, but they want to. So what are some of the fun things you do on social media that you kind of invite people in?
So with social media, you know, I do try to stay up with the times, but as you can imagine, as a horse trainer, like I'm kind of going and blowing and going. So I mainly, if I get to post things, I always like to also challenge people. So I've had challenges where I'll offer, I have a page on Facebook. It is a subscription page, and it's private, and it's a group of, there's a bunch of members on it. And it is Reality Riding with Extreme Wylene. And it's all of my behind the scenes what I do in everyday given situations, from laydowns, private lessons, trailer loading issues, colt starting, horses that buck, rear, run away, thrashers, bashers, killers, kickers, you name it, it's on there. And it is my version of what I think DVDs series should be, which is the reality behind horsemanship and horse training, that things do go wrong and problems do arise. And I don't want to be sitting on my $1 million horse in my $1 million facility talking about how I'm having problems. I literally want to climb on someone's horse that has had an issue and say, if I was sitting in the saddle, this is how Wylene would handle it. And so I have that, which is on, and through my website, extremewylene.com, you can join that. It's $20 a month, very cheap. You can cancel it anytime. It's all my behind the scenes stuff. And then obviously I have social media handles, as I have Snapchat, and I've been Snapchatting a lot. Awesome. And I have TikTok. I have a TikTok that I have, and I also have Instagram, Facebook, as you can imagine. I have a Extreme Wylene like Facebook profile, like a business page on Facebook, and I also have Wylene Davis as well. That's my personal one. But so there's several places I try to tap into social media, and we post pictures and do fun stuff. So, you know, I try to keep it pretty light and not get too serious. Right. I think there's a little bit of that lacking in the industry. Like I said before, it gets a little cutthroat and people get a little too serious. Yeah. And maybe some people don't align with me on that, but life's too short, and I've lost too many close friends to not say, enjoy the moment while you can. You can be gone tomorrow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I've definitely learned to say I love you more, and I've learned to hug more people and to say, you know what, I'm grateful to have my body and my talent and my ability. I want to share that with the world, because it could all end tomorrow. So I definitely have shifted the way I view things, and I like to share as much as I can. And I'm an open book. I don't really have that many secrets. So if you want to know something and if you're hungry and you're driven and you'll listen, I will teach you everything I know. If you come at me with, you know, arrogance or, you know, pettiness or things like that, I have no desire to teach you, because I want somebody who wants to truly, genuinely learn and work hard. Because let's face it, people want to point fingers at how the horse isn't doing blank, blank, blank. But the truth is, all the hard work starts here with you. Absolutely. The individual, the horse is only as good as the rider or handler, period. Absolutely. The horse is a mirror of you. If you are having a bad day, your horse is going to pick up all that negative energy, or the fight you got in with your spouse or your brother or whoever or whatever's going on in your life. So when I walk into that round pen, I'm there for that horse. And my intention is always, I am here. I'm not here to hurt you. I want to help you. I'm going to teach you, and we're going to play, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So that's my goal.
That's so awesome. And you're right. Life is too short, for sure. And I found the people that want to learn, that are humble, like you say, and that just want to get out there and just learn. And they are the ones who succeed, and they usually end up passing all these arrogant people. They'll just pass them right on by and just make it.
Well, you know what goes around comes around. I'm a firm believer of that. And you know, in the Mustang Makeover situation, there were several years I didn't win the makeover, and that was my intention, because it's nice to let others have the light, and it's okay to share that. And when it's your time, and that's okay too. And you can gather those accolades and just celebrate in that moment. But those times pass. And then once you win a championship, then what's next? You know, it's, you know, you got to find fulfillment. And for me, fulfillment is not so much in winning big championships. My fulfillment is changing lives. It's opening up the opportunity for people to realize there's more to horsemanship than they could have ever imagined. And so I'm just happy and very grateful that I get that opportunity to kind of share my gift. And let me say this, because that just popped in my head. A super big mentor and like a father that has been a second father to me is Al Dunning. Those who are familiar with Al, he's incredible. I've known him a very long time. And he said something to me that just is burned in my memory. And he said, "This is not my gift to keep. It is my gift to share."
That's awesome.
And if I don't share it, it dies with me. And that's my biggest fear, is that it would die with me, because I want to create a ripple effect.
Absolutely.
And so in preparation for Road to the Horse, I'm already paddling. I'm already on my surfboard, and the tidal wave is coming, baby, and we are catching that wave. You know what I mean?
I love it. Absolutely. I know. I've seen it. I've been there. I know.
It's a tidal wave, and if you're not prepared, you're going to get rumbled and tumbled. And I find that through life, you got to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it does take practice, and it does take patience.
Yeah.
But if you start paddling, you're going to catch that wave, and I'm hoping to catch that wave. So
that's awesome. That's so awesome.
Here we come.
Well, that's why you have so many fans all over the world. You know, it's because you're just humble. They feel like they can trust you, and they can feel they can be open with you. And if they don't know how to cinch up a horse or how to lead a horse, you can help them get there to that next level. As basic as that sounds, and they won't be made fun of or looked down on. And that's a big, big deal to have somebody at your level to be able to help them.
Thank you. You know, that's a huge compliment. I appreciate that. And I'm going to share this with you. I say this pretty much everywhere I go. This is my theory.
Okay.
Those who are listening or watching can tell me if they get the, like, they give me like the thumbs up emoji. But there are horse trainers on every corner. It's really easy to find a horse trainer. They're everywhere. But what's hard to find is someone who's a great horse trainer who's also a great teacher. You can find someone who's a great teacher, but they're not maybe the best horse trainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what you rarely find, the unicorn that we're all looking for, is someone who's a great horse trainer, someone who is a great teacher, and someone who is your friend, who is genuine, who will sit down with you in your house wearing pajamas, talking about things. That is this girl. I am genuine when I sit down with clients and horses, and I don't want clients or horses to just be a number. I want to make an impact where when someone spends time with me, they can genuinely say, I met Wylene and she was not what I expected. She was way more. She was real, and she was the real deal. And I work really, really hard at that. And I always try to be that trifecta, that people could welcome me into their home, or vice versa, where I create a level of friendship. And I just don't think there's enough of that out there. So I'm really grateful to those individuals out there who have taught me how not to be. And I can take what I've seen from clients and their experiences and go, I would never say that, or I would never do that to you. I don't want you walking away feeling belittled or beat down, or I don't want to tear you apart. I want to build you up. I want you walking away uplifted, enlightened, encouraged, excited. I just left a clinic in Florida, and every single person was about in tears, hugging me. We love you. Please come back. When are you moving here? That's the kind of energy and drive that it takes for this girl to go up and down the road and leave my family and my home and my husband and my children. Do it because I love truly what I do, and I have passion for what I do. And when I wake up every morning, I say how grateful I am to be alive, because it's my opportunity to put my feet on the ground and make a difference. So that's who I am.
That's just awesome, Wylene. And that's what the industry needs. And it needs so many more people doing it, because our industry needs new people to come in and have that passion that you and I have, and what you're talking about, and the humble passion with experience that knows how to do it the right way. And without it, the industry, like you were saying, Al Dunning said, it's going to go away if we don't encourage more people to come into our industry.
And it dies with you, yeah. And there's a lot of tradition out there, and I love tradition, but it's also nice to kind of shake things up a little. And that's kind of where I come in, and with the way I was raised with my mom growing up, and kind of riding with the balanced ride saddles and Monty Foreman style with the basic handle. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Monty Foreman, he was in the 50s and 60s, was kind of a man ahead of his time, and he died way too early. He died early on in his life. And so a lot of that died with him. And so my mom really has carried on his legacy with just a few other individuals across country. And I'm really grateful that I just get to be a little bit different, and I'm not as traditional as most people would see. And there's a fine art, and there is a way to fly the helicopter, if you will. You've got to learn how to hover, because you can crash at any time. And it's about that knowing when and when not to, and how to dance with that horse, and to just be in the right place at the right time. And I think I've started to get to where I feel like I'm there, and it's taken a long time. So be patient with yourselves. It takes time.
Absolutely, it takes time. But that line is so strong, just to hover and so you don't crash, because that's the truth. You can. You just it's constant, isn't it? It's just a consistency, and that's such a strong line.
It's not a question if you'll get hurt, it's when. And so you got to be prepared. And that's something I'm going to mention at Road to the Horse. Everyone's biggest fear is falling off. Why? Because that hurts. Yeah. And it's not fun. And the older you get, the quicker you break, and the slower you are to heal. And so it's what to do when things go wrong is where this girl comes in, because it's about having confidence and knowing what to do. No one talks about that in the industry. Everyone wants to talk about perfection and being perfect and having this certain like systematical way of doing things, which is fine. But there's times that doesn't apply to certain horses or situations. And I know you know what I'm talking about. And that's why I loved the Mustang Makeover, because in the Mustang Makeover, when somebody would just flip their hair and be like, I'm a trainer. I'm like, okay, you're a trainer? I'll see you at the Mustang Makeover. Why don't you go get you a wild one and we'll see you in 100 days. Because then the proof is always in the pudding, right? And that's why I loved going to makeovers, because you could really, really see someone's program show up in 100 days, what they could do with a wild horse that was a clean slate. We're not talking pedigree. We're not talking some $100,000 world beater. We're talking a horse that's been turned out on the range that we have no idea how its pedigree is. We don't know who his parents are.
Right.
And if you can take something that raw and turn it into something of value, you're doing something. Absolutely. And that's why so many people have taken the makeover horses and turned their whole entire lives around. And they've created entire different careers. And that's what I love about these type of competitions, is it's a wonderful way to showcase who you are. And we all have something to offer. We all have something to bring to the table. And so these audience members get to decide if it's the cocktail they want to drink. Everybody has a different.
Absolutely.
I got lots of one-liners. So
hey, I love them. I love them. They matter because it's truth. That's the difference, Absolutely. So what's happening?
Thank you for listening to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. For more information on Scott Knudsen, the Cowboy Entrepreneur, visit us online at cowboyentrepreneur.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Knudsen, host of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, heard on KCAA, Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific. I'd like to talk to you about something I'm very passionate about. Those that know me know I love my coffee. In the morning, afternoon, and even late in the evening, I enjoy a good cup of coffee almost any time of the day. Now, my team at the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show has been working for several months on creating and introducing our own brand of coffee. We wanted to make sure that we got it just right. We don't want to put our name on anything unless we're 100% certain that it's the best product available, and we've finally done it. We have created a wonderful line of coffees, 13 fantastic flavors offered in whole bean, ground, and K-cups. Any way you like to brew your coffee. Now, each of our coffees carries our brand, the very same brand that we put on our horses, our trailers, and our chaps. So you know that this is a quality product. And we only use 100% Arabica beans, the very best beans available. Just listen to some of these wonderful blends and flavors. Jamaican Me Crazy, Honduran San Marcos, Chocolate Cherry Amaretto, Breakfast Blend, and my very favorite, Haley's Blend. A coffee so good, we named it after my daughter. You can order these coffees today by going online to cowboyentrepreneur.shop. That's cowboyentrepreneur.shop. And if you order today, you can get an extra 10% off your final purchase just by entering the promo code Cowboy on checkout. Remember, that's promo code Cowboy for an extra 10% off. Just go to cowboyentrepreneur.shop to order your coffee today. I'm Scott Knutson with the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, heard on KCAA Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific. And who doesn't want to start their workday off in the best possible way? I certainly do. How about starting with some great basics? The foundation, underwear and undershirts. Underwear has often been an afterthought, especially for us men. We never think about it at all, but I never have. I can tell you from personal experience, the clothes you wear will feel much better if you have the right underwear. It gives you that extra edge of confidence. And who doesn't want confidence? And you'll look better too. The company Wood Underwear makes great underwear that is approachable and accessible. At the right price point, you can feel comfortable buying it and wearing it. They're having some fun with the name, and while the name might bring you in, the product's going to bring you back. It is a great material, and I use it every day. My friends at Wood want you to try it, so they came up with a promo code just for Cowboy Entrepreneur listeners. Use the code CowboyBrief at checkout on woodunderwear.com for 20% off your first order. I guarantee you're going to like it. This offer ends August 31st. I know you're not going to wait that long. woodunderwear.com. Use the promo code CowboyBrief for 20% off this amazing product, Wood Underwear.
Welcome back to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. Here's your host, Scott Knutson.
Absolutely. So what's happening in June? Educational library. I saw that on the website.
So, well, we had talked to, so with the live, my goal was to have basically sections of information where people could go and then click and view. Then we went to where we were like, well, if we were to do that, that takes like a full-time crew to come with me, because how does Wylene film it when Wylene's in the saddle? Right. So, and truly that's why we did the reality page on Facebook, because that's a way for me to have access to what people want to see, which is all the behind the scenes stuff that you don't see. When people show up in the show pen, you're only seeing that result. You're not seeing how they got to that point.
That's why, not to interrupt you, but what you said right there is so important. And to get to go back behind the scenes with you on that Facebook page is so important. And we're going to make sure we spotlight that, because I know people are going to want to do that. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah,
and you got to be careful what you ask for, because it's on there. All of
Absolutely.
it. And I'm talking yours, maybe a little like inappropriate language. It's on there, all of it. Everything from me, Mustang Makeovers riding into the arena, to colts starting day one, to horses laying horses down. I mean, it is the raw, real stuff. And in any industry, there's always the good, bad, and ugly. And it's definitely got a little bit of everything on there, but I'm very honest and open about how things go. And so, yeah, I try to be as honest as I can and share as much as I can. I just don't think there's enough of that out there. So as far as like the library, I'm trying to gain as much content as I can so that I can plaster it out there to the world. So
that's great. That's so wonderful. And the education part of our industry, and showing it's okay to fall. It's okay to fail, because I do it all the time. It's okay to show people.
I got bucked off like 10 days ago. So listen, if I'm getting bucked off, like, it's going to happen to you. It just happens. It's just one of those things. And thankfully, I just was lucky and didn't get hurt, and I kind of laughed afterwards, but I was like, what? That just goes to show you the professionals. It happens to the best of us. It just does.
You can either get upset about it, or you can be glad you're still riding horses and doing it, and that's the way I look at it. And if you ride enough horses, it's going to happen, just the numbers are there, and you just embrace it, know it's part of it, and go down the road, and don't let that scare you. But if they want to learn more how maybe not to do it as much, they can sure hit your Facebook or go to a clinic.
Well, and I find that a lot of that is, everywhere I travel, the one thing that I see the most of is people don't know what to do with their reins. They don't have good rein management or body control of themselves. And so therefore they don't have control of their horse, and they don't have control of the horse's body. And bad things happen when you're not prepared. And so I find that everywhere I go, everyone's so fearful because they don't know what to do. And when people are starting out and they're so new, there's no information really out there. Of course, there's some great clinicians who already do have a DVD training series and all of that. quite frankly, just for me, I struggle a lot with that. I'm a little ADD, and I like to see, like, I got to be able to, like, get in there and do it physically, me personally. And so I try to be relatable. I want to be relatable to the audience. And I'm pretty honest with everything that goes on, even with my emotions and the way I feel about things. And there's times I'm going to laugh, and then there's times I'm going to cry, and I'm going to tell you why, you know? So I think people appreciate vulnerability and rawness, because I think people put on a face sometimes. I know I've been that person before, but I definitely want to bring that to the table. And even with Road to the Horse, my goal is to educate, entertain, and execute.
Awesome.
Get it done. Because we have a very, very short amount of time. So you're taking an entire, like, plate of food that could fit on this table right here, and you're trying to eat all of it in one sitting. And so when you think of it that way, there's a lot of progress and process that has to happen to get to that point where you don't overdo it, because it can blow up in your face. So again, we're flying the helicopter for sure this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if anyone can fly it, you can. There's no doubt.
Thank you.
No doubt.
I appreciate
Thank you for being on the show. It's been so much fun. I know you're so busy this week, and I know everybody's going to be rooting you on and watching for sure.
Well, you know what? I appreciate the support, and I have to just give a special shout out to my amazing family and friends and loved ones and people who have sent me incredible messages and been like, we're rooting for you. Yay, girl power, and all of that. You know, my goal is to really be authentic. And I've really learned to just kind of, like, take a deep breath and, like, assess everything and then go and do it. When I was younger, I was like a hot rod. It was like full throttle all the time, gotta go, you know. And now I can kind of look at it and go, sometimes slow is really fast, actually. And I've, even from forcing myself to ride a horse without a bridle in the first ride is like, for me. And so I would force myself to be like, oh, I'm going to climb on this horse and I don't have a way to guide it around, to starting a horse in a halter, to not starting him in a halter. So I'm just had prepared with that to lead up to this competition, so that if it showed up that the horse I drew couldn't handle that, having a bit in its mouth, then I could take it off and we could just go back to what works. So yeah, I feel prepped. I feel like it's time.
Yeah, you feel like it sounds like you're in your zone. You're ready to go for sure.
Oh man, I'm totally in the zone.
Yeah, I could tell.
I don't sleep because I'm so excited that I'm like, okay, Wylene, just go to sleep. And then my mind's like, okay, but we got to teach people and we got to have these horses.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. So
congratulations on being there, but I know you're going to do wonderful. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You're okay.
No, I just was going to thank you for being on the show and say congratulations. And I'm glad it's happening. And I know you're going to have so many more people following you after the event, just because they're going to just admire what you do, and being real is so important, you know.
So important. And you know, the thing is, and that's why I do clinics, and I just started doing boot camps where I would have people come in and bring their horses and just drop their horses off with me for a week. I don't want the owners there. I just want to do my thing. And then they come and then they ride with me in the clinic. And then I can speed their horse up, and then I can bring them in and put them on board. And I've really had a lot of success with that because it works, and nobody offers that. Another thing a lot of people don't offer is kids clinics. I love kids. I love teaching kids. I love playing, because deep down I'm really a very little child inside here. If I'm out there riding bareback and backwards carrying streamers, that's my kind of a clinic, but that's just me. And I'm really grateful that I have a different approach to clinics. I have lots of different types of clinics, but I love confidence building, and I love pushing and promoting people to do amazing things. So I hope to see people down the road. And that's what I want to create. It's just a way for people to go, you know what? I can learn more, and I can step out of my comfort zone. And there's a delicate way that I'm able to do that. I think that's my gift.
Absolutely.
Just enough to help them see the other side. And when they do, they're like, how did I ever live without that? Wow, that was amazing. So
yeah, they get hooked on. And I think that little part right there about they're afraid to go to a clinic with a horse. They might go and sit in the stands, but they're afraid to actually get down in the dirt or the sand and do that.
Yeah.
And by you welcoming them, it makes it so much easier for them. You know, they might still be a little nervous, but that helps them. And
Absolutely.
It's so important. So how do they book a clinic, or how do they have you as a clinician? Is that on the website?
Okay, so you can either jump on my website and leave a message there. There is a way to leave me a message, or you can directly email me. Here we go, everybody. Are you ready?
Yeah,
this is a tough one. extremewylene@gmail.com.
You might have to say it one more time.
Extreme Wylene, one word, extremewylene@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Go ahead and leave me an email. If you're interested in hosting a clinic, all it requires is 10 riders. And I'll even take more riders, but my requirement to go is to have 10. And other than that, I'm pretty flexible and I can kind of bend with the wind, and I'm not too restricted or uptight about how we do that. We've done everything from clinics on the beach to clinics in the forest. So anything and everything flows in between that. So if they want to reach out to me, they can reach me through my website, or they can reach out to they can send me an email. And then we'll go through it. We go through and then we answer emails, and then I give them all the information. We'll send them a clinic host agreement packet, and then we go from there.
Awesome.
And then we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an opportunity for someone to have a clinic with you. So
we have a blast. We have
so much fun. They're going to love and learn at the same time.
Yeah, and I tell people, don't be afraid of the word extreme. It's not as extreme as you think. That's my name, and that's kind of my nickname that people have dubbed me. But it's actually not that. It's more about finding who you are and having the ability to communicate and to connect to your horses and realize your true potential. So I think sometimes people go, "Oh, I would never ride with her. She's way too extreme." Well, that's who I am. But what I'm trying to do is bring out the best in you and your horse. So that's what I aim for.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you, Scott. This has been incredible. And will I see you in Fort Worth? Will you be there?
I'm going to be in Fort Worth, but I'm going to be on the other side of Fort Worth at another event. But I might have to pop over there. I'm sure.
Should.
We'll talk.
You should. And then let's do another interview. We'll just do it in between. Just call me. Let me know how I can do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sounds great. Thanks so much for being on the show.
You bet. Anytime. You guys have a great day, and thanks for hanging out.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Scott.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you to all the great sponsors of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. If you or your business is interested in being a sponsor of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, please call our office at 830-992-1786 or visit our website, cowboyentrepreneur.com.